You've got a story that I think is quite familiar with a lot of people that come from ethnic backgrounds, right? In a sense where, because I got the same. You went to uni because your parents told you to go to uni, basically, right?
To this day, my parents still have no idea, like, because they're like first generation Indians.
Yeah.
They have never been to a club in their life, man. And so they're in this country. They moved to this country. They struggled, obviously, and moving somewhere culturally completely different. And so they don't want their kids to struggle in any way. So to stop that from happening is to get your kid a good education and get him a professional career. And that's what they wanted from me. So I think my parents weren't as traditional as like most Indians, but they did want me to go to university. And once I went to university and got my degree, they kind of said, look, you can do what you want as long as you're not doing anything illegal or anything where you need help from others or from them, really.
But that's I think this is a really interesting topic though, because I actually had someone, a young gentleman, reach out to me recently, because obviously through Creates House, like we're connected with young people, young creatives all the time. And he's got a very similar story to you, right? His parents wanted him to go to uni. He went to uni, came out, got a grad job, but isn't happy. Right? He's a creative at heart. So like, I know times are different, but it's still a very similar narrative. Like, what would your, I guess, advice be for young people that are maybe in that scenario?
I would say if you have to go to university, it's like I've never used my degree. I got an economics degree. I've never written it down. Never even mentioned it on a CV. My CV is irrelevant when it comes to that. It's all about my experience and that. My advice to someone is go to university and do something and study something that you want to pursue afterwards, maybe. So if it's music or if you want to be a DJ, learn how to go into production courses or something like that, do that. And that way you don't feel like it's a waste and then you enjoy it. When you do something you love, it doesn't feel like work. Like now, I never struggle to work, get up and go to work. I love it. I love everything I do because the variety of what I do is so much fun. But at university, I used to miss lectures all the time. I hardly ever went. I don't think the lectures even knew I existed.
I think the challenge is though, like, you were lucky in a sense where you found your love quite early on, right? We're looking at 18, 19. Like that's to find that and for you to still be doing it now. That's I guess relatively rare. Like a lot of young people go to uni at 18 and have no idea what they want to be, so they kind of just pick something. Because that's what I did. I had no idea what I wanted to do.
What did you study?
I studied sports science.
Okay.
But that's because I like sports. Right? Well, I did.
You're a basketballer, right?
Yeah. So I was playing ball at the time. I thought, all right, I love sports. Let me just go study something sports related and figure it out, right? Left there, then started working in Nike Town as a sales assistant. But again, because it was sports related, I thought it all fits and made sense. But you figure it out over time.
Yeah, and I think your path wasn't too deviated. You kind of stuck within what you loved. Like you like sports.
Sports was the consistent piece there. Yeah, for sure.
Like even though I didn't enjoy the degree that I studied, I really enjoyed my time at university and I look back at it with fond memories. Had I had the option of not going to university now, if it was in this day and age, I probably wouldn't go in the sense that I could probably gain more experience and meet people by doing work experience or working for free for someone and then building up experience and relationships. But at the time, it was great.
Yeah, and I guess for you, the uni conversation is a super interesting one. I think a lot of people have views on that. I've got my point of view on it as well. But I guess from your in terms of your story, like it shaped you. Do you know what I mean? Like even if you didn't go to uni, that you might have done parties, but like you weren't in that closed community kind of thing.
And you develop so much life skills in university and living away from home and dealing with deadlines and dealing with how to deal with people from different backgrounds. It's something that you learn that is outside of the academic field. Like, let me ask you this. You went to university. Was it because of pressure from your parents?
Yes and no. Not pressure in a sense where they were like, you need to go to uni. But as you know, my dad's West African, right? My mum's English. But even so, like more so on my dad's side, it's like that was just always what you do. It wasn't a case of, there was a conversation of you need to go and do this. It was just like, you go to, A levels and you finish, you need what unis have you applied for? So it was more that I just thought that was the only option. I didn't know anything else.
So how would you, now that you got a son of your own, when he gets to 18,
so this
how
is interesting.
Are you gonna do?
So me and my missus, slightly we both see each other's point of view, but slightly disagree on this, right? So my stance on uni is I personally, unless it's a specific course, i.e. maybe you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, right? Where you specifically have to go through a certain journey to get there. I personally don't feel like it's worth it. Especially when you look at how much it cost.
I agree.
Right? That's my thing. If it was cheaper, I'd be like, absolutely. As an experience, like 3 years experience as a young, person growing up, absolutely amazing experience to have. But for the cost, how much is that? Like 12K a year or something like that?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Like,
and then you have that debt over you.
Yeah, so I think for the cost, for me, I don't think it's worth it. I think I agree with you. Like, so what I say, to answer your question, what I'd say to my son is, all right, if you're not going to go to uni, it still needs to be a structured 3 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like, give yourself 3 years. What are you going to achieve? Like, what are your goals? How are you going to get there? And all right, let's go and achieve those. That's going to hopefully help you in the future, right? So it still needs to be structured. I think that's important, having that structure, going out, meeting people, those life skills, living on your own for the first time. All of that, I think, definitely builds you as a person. But in terms of the certificate itself, like you can get experience. You can work for people free. You can develop that on your own, especially if you're creative. It's, yes, it's about your talent, but then it's also about, you as an individual.
And so nowadays you can just say you spent 3 years creating your own platform and creating content for
free. Imagine that. Imagine you want to be a YouTuber. And you spend 3 years building content to be a YouTuber.
Honing your craft. Yeah.
Like, you'll be all right, man.
For sure.